You're on stream, unmuted.
No sign crazy, no sign crazy. You're going to clap it up. Priest and officer, Rock, you understand? Out of the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started at 1 West,
That's right.
Street, out of Harlem, New York, under command of YAHANNA. You understand? Been teaching the truth according to the Bible since 1969. You understand? 1969 is when the Lord put his priests and prophets back on this earth to teach this truth. You understand? To pick up black people, blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians out of the dust. You know what I'm saying? Waking them up, helping out with the conditions, and actually giving black people in Israel an answer. You understand? Tonight is Monday night history class. You understand? We're gonna get a little history down. You understand? Our history is very important. Without understanding our history, without understanding what's inside this Bible, we won't ever know what it takes to actually fix ourselves. You understand? That's where we'll go when we find out. When we look at the answers that the black leaders that have been around for the last some odd years, how they do not have the answer, how it's not fixed the black community. We still getting high, still drugged out of our minds, relationships still failing, marriage after marriage. You understand? Aborting our babies, believing in whatever gods. And you see what these other nations is doing today. Today idols now. You see what these other nations doing today, gods, they throwing them in the street. You understand? Because the Lord that is put on our oppressors' necks still across this earth. You understand? Messing him up, hitting him with the COVID left and right. You understand? And there's more plagues to come. You understand? But our issues as Israel, as blacks, niggas, and Hispanics has been as old as Egypt, man. You understand? Ain't nothing new under the sun. You understand? I know it's a lot of black leaders that say we need to move over here to get away from our enemy, to get away from our oppressor. That's not going to fix the black community, man. You understand? You're going to have to follow rules. You're going to have a structure. You're going to need to know that the Bible is black supremacy. You're going to need to know that the Bible labels out how it is that we condition ourselves and how we become a nation, how we treat each other. You understand? We're going to go in Deuteronomy 27:1. Let me get you to get that for me. So how you doing today? To what?
Sir.
What's our Christ, man? It's good to see you in class, man. Brothers and sisters, y'all coming online. You know what I'm saying? Bubba Gashar. Go ahead and like, share the stream for me. Like, share, subscribe to the stream. We're going to get them likes up. We're going to support this truth. You understand? We're going to push this truth every single day.
That's right.
We in the time we fishing. You understand? And tonight, once again, is the Monday night history class for everybody coming in and tuning in. You got that scripture? Deuteronomy 27, chapter 27, verse 1. Let me know once you got it.
Got
it. Right? So, go ahead. Start me off, Bubba Show.
Deuteronomy chapter 27, verse 1.
Go ahead.
And Moses with the elders of Israel commanded the people, saying, keep all the commandments which I command you this day.
Now, Moses, it says from the top, but it says Moses with the elders of Israel. We got to understand is the context. The Bible is very straightforward. The Lord is not the author of confusion. So if you ever find yourself confused when reading this Bible, that means you need to be taught again. You understand? Like it says in the book of Hebrews. Let's say it one more time from the top. Go ahead.
Verse 1. And Moses with the elders of Israel commanded the people, saying, keep all the commandments which I...
Keep some of them?
Keep all the commandments.
Just the ones we like.
Keep all the commandments.
The ones that mom and dad told us?
Keep all the commandments.
The one that Pastor Pork Chop told us?
Keep all the commandments.
Now, when we actually go into these historical records, we find out that we have laws, statutes, and commandments that we forget in America through being plagued with poverty and oppression and bad leadership and failed leadership, weak leaders that broke. You understand? We find out that we have rules and we lose the definition of what a father is in America, man. We forget that a father that actually loves their children is actually going to, punish their children, chastise them. You know what I'm saying? Put them through the fire, test them as gold, all that and above, right? And in this scripture right here, it says that we had to keep all the commandments. And we're going to find out today what happened when we did not keep these commandments. And we're going to find out we are still cursed with these plagues to this day. Moving across the country, moving on this side of the globe where it's hot, where it's cold, where it's sunny, where the skies is clear. It don't change the way that we operate as a people. Moving and getting on an airplane and getting on a boat and going across a river, swimming, I don't even feel like you're going to get there. Ain't going to change that. You're just a wet sinner. And we had to learn how to not to be sinful unto the Lord. You understand? Read it from the top one more time.
Deuteronomy chapter 27, verse 1. And Moses with the elders of Israel.
Now stop right there. Moses with the elders of Israel. Did it say with everybody? It says with the elders of Israel, right? Now, people don't understand that the first 5 books of the Bible That's what we call, that's the Torah. You understand? Moses with the elders of Israel. You understand? You ask your grandmother, who is Israel today? You ask your grandfather, who is Israel today? You're gonna see the most blankest face you ever seen in your life, because they're not gonna have an answer for you. You start asking these Christians and these Christian pastors questions, they're gonna put you on the spot and they're gonna find out that they was never fit to teach this Bible, man. The one thing about the Bible, it says that this is a profession. We gotta understand that this is a job. Can everybody be an astronaut? No. Can everybody be, a CIA agent or something? Everybody can be a chef, everybody can be a cook. Every job, you understand, and on top of that, imagine, this is how stupid it sounds. Imagine I go home, I pick up some doctor's book to get my own doctorate. I read the book, and after I'm done, I go on Amazon, faithful Amazon, I buy me a nice little lab coat. You know what I'm saying? Get it stitched out, get my name on there, you know what I'm saying, all that and above. And I go into the hospital, and I say, I'm Dr. So-and-so. Let me go in to do my open heart surgery. They're going to look at me like, who are you? Somebody has to qualify you for this job, man. Somebody has to qualify that you are educated and knowledgeable enough to teach this Bible. You understand? So this Bible is a profession. Moses with the elders of Israel. You understand? Not with everybody, with the elders of Israel. Go ahead. Take your time. No. Moses with the elders of Israel.
Commanded the people, saying, keep all the commandments.
You understand? Keep all the commandments. We're going to find out what it is in history. What happened back then is the same things that we suffer from today. You understand? And you're going to know today that the Bible is the most accurate book that's ever touched the face of the earth.
That's right.
It's the best-selling book. It's the most-selling book. And why? Every other nation has a hold of our records. And the people who the Bible is for dishonor these records. Don't want these records. Think another nation wrote these records. When you read in this Bible is the only book that prophesies black rulership. You understand?
Right.
This Bible tells you your identity. So if you hate this Bible, you understand that shows how much you're oppressed, because your identity is in it. You understand what, brother?
If you hate the Bible and you're an Israelite, you hate yourself.
You know I'm right. Get a brother a hand, man. Get a brother a hand. You understand? You hate the Bible, you hate yourself. You understand? It's a form of oppression, it's a form of slavery, man. Because this Bible is our records. What you said is absolutely heavy. You understand? We begin to hate ourselves and we begin to look towards another leader. No other nation would stand for serving a leader that does not look like them, or would serve a God that does not look like them. You understand? We don't understand how important it is. People be coming at the I.S.U.P.K, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, like color doesn't matter and color this and Christ ain't this and Christ ain't that. You gonna tell that to some of these other nations in their religion, man. Their God looks like them. Their leader looks like them. We don't understand just how important that is. We don't understand how important the beginning of that verse saying Moses with the elders of Israel, and just how important it is. Because that's our leader, a leader that comes from our blood, from our bone and flesh. A leader that descends from the holy people of Israel, man. That descends with the blood that the Lord chose to be special on this earth. We don't understand how special that is. And when you have a leader that looks like you, and you have a God that looks like you, can anybody tell me what that benefits towards that people? When you have a leader and a God that looks like you, that chose you. You understand? Good.
Which I commanded you this day.
You understand? When we have this leader that looks like us, comes from us, chose us, that means they're going to put us first, man. You can go do business in China right now, but guess what? Chinese people over there are going to come first in China. You can go do business in whatever country they're in, but the religion backs up the race of people that it stands with. And that's why the Bible continuously speaks of a people who live in constant confusion. Always. And when you look at reality, this is what's going to crystallize the Bible. When you look at reality, you're going to find out that we are the people. You go to China, you're going to find everybody worshiping Buddha, or whatever it is. You go to some Arabic country, you're going to find them worshiping Allah and whatnot. You understand? America classifies themselves as a Christian nation, a white Jesus Christ, a white God. You understand? But somehow you'll find a black man with wooden shoes and how you pronounce it, a gi, and a gi on wooden shoes worshiping Buddha. You'll find a black Buddhist, a black Hinduist, a black chemist, a black Scientologist, a black Catholic, black Baptist. The list just goes on and on and on. A black Muslim. You'll find this going on and on and on, because we are the one nation of people, blacks, niggas, and Hispanics, who do not understand where we descend from, where we come from. Where, brother?
Yeah, I hope I'm not out of order.
Do you think?
Afro Samurai was my jump, though.
I understand. I understand. A lot of the culture of these people, you'll find out comes from us, man. I'm talking about as small as teaching other nations how to bathe. Abraham had the ways to the mathematics, but who gets credited of math? Anybody know?
The Egyptians.
Say again?
The Egyptians.
The Egyptians, right. But we the ones that the Lord blessed with this wisdom. Take me to pause that. Take me to Deuteronomy. Matter of fact, you go to Deuteronomy 28:1. Father Michelle, give me Deuteronomy 4:6.
Kind.
You know what I'm saying? Whoever gets it first, you gonna read.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1.
You think?
And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Pause right there. You understand? The scriptures say if. You gotta put extra emphasis when we read in the Bible on certain words. Ifs and buts are very, very peculiar and very specific in the scriptures. Ifs and buts you want to pay very close attention to and put extra emphasis on it. Excuse my language if I ain't pronouncing emphasis right. Y'all gotta bear with me. You know what I'm saying? But extra emphasis, if that directs the tone and the seriousness in what Moses is telling the people. You understand? That's what directs how serious our father and our leader was. What we don't know is Moses led a what? Anybody know?
Led an army.
He led an army. Don't let the religion, you understand, curve your knowledge and understanding what it is the scriptures is reading right there. And a lot of you brothers and sisters out there in the world, we know for a fact that you want to believe what you're reading. But we got to go ahead and wipe that Christianity off the Bible and understand that this is serious. You understand that we want no punks. You understand? Moses was leading an army. Read it from the top.
Verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments.
Pause right there. Slow it down. He says, if, you understand, and listen to the voice of who?
Unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Nah, G-Mama.
The Lord thy God.
Nah, Papa.
The Lord thy God.
You talking about white Jesus.
The Lord thy God.
Now this is very particular, man. When you read this Bible, where you gonna find the word of the Lord is in that Bible, in our records. Keep reading.
To observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee.
Pause right there. It's a lot, if I may. To observe, right? That's where Christians stop. To observe. They don't understand that in history, Moses said you can't just know that this is in the Bible. What is the main thing you'll hear from a Christian? This is rhetorical. What's the main thing you'll hear from a Christian when it comes to they hear about the I.S.U.P.K. coming around, you know what I'm saying, talking about we follow the law, statutes, and commandments of the Bible. All of them, not some of them, all of them. A Christian loves to say, well, y'all can't do this, or y'all don't be doing this, or y'all don't do that. The scripture says to observe and to do what? Have to observe.
And to do all his commandments.
Moses said go and do them things. You understand? Keep reading.
Which I command thee this day.
Go ahead.
That the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
That's very beautiful, man. That's very beautiful. Being in the Christian church takes away the power of how beautiful this scripture is, man. It takes away the power of finally hearing a black leader of old. You understand? The Lord put these like type of leaders that Moses just said in the I.S.U.P.K.
Right.
1969. That type, what you just read right there, you only gonna find a black leader like that in the I.S.U.P.K.
Right.
A school, a leader under Commander YAHANNA was teaching that if we follow these laws, statutes, and commandments, the Lord is going to set us on high above all nations of the earth. And you got to ask yourself, why don't we deserve it? Look at the conditions that Black and Hispanic and Native American Indians are in right now. You understand? Native American Indians lead in suicidal rates. You understand? You got Hispanic and Latino babies on the border drinking out of toilet water with aluminum foil blankets in a cage. You can't even go in Starbucks and get a coffee without some Karen, you understand, calling the cops on you because you left your dog outside for a second or two to go get some coffee. You understand? But you can put a kid, a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, a 4-year-old separated from his family, bodies turning up left and right in your protection. You understand? Listen, man. We gonna get into these scriptures nice and heavy. Keep reading, man.
Verse 2. And all these blessings shall come on thee
Mm-hmm.
and overtake thee,
Mm-hmm.
if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
You understand? Once again, look at that word if. That if is very important, man. You understand? You want a blessing from the Lord, an actual blessing, an actual inheritance. We're gonna have to actually go into what it is that we would do and what we would receive through following these laws, statutes, and commandments. These wicked leaders out here, you'll find out that these Christian leaders, these rappers, singers, and whatnot, all they want is a platform. Because if it was about unity, it wouldn't be I'm a black leader, you're a black leader, you're a black leader, and I got my own doctrine, I got what I want to say. I think this is right, I think that is right. The one thing that I love so much about the Bible is the Lord don't give a damn about what you think is right or wrong. He don't. He don't. The Lord's words is pure. It's perfect. You understand? It's perfect. Why would it not be perfect? Why would anybody tell you that the law, statutes, and commandments is done away with? If they're saying they're done away with, either A, that evil, disgusting bastard,
Right.
or B, they don't know the law, statutes, and commandments.
Right.
You understand? Because in these law, statutes, and commandments, you know what it tells me, brother? It tells me I can't sleep with your wife. It tells me I can't sell your kid crack and heroin and weed.
Right.
It tells me I can't rape nobody.
Right.
You understand? It tells me I can't celebrate some empty, vain, and deceitful holiday that carries no weight. You understand? Why would you want the law, statutes, and commandments to be done away with, man? We gotta ask ourselves these things. You understand? You ready, sir? You can't, Sean. You say something. It's a lot of you. It's on you. Ain't going like it. I will come. Just on the
Hello?
Concert.
Shalom, shalom. All right. We're gonna pick up. We'll pick back up. When we left off Monday, we was reading First Maccabees, chapter 1. So what was going on was Alexander the Great. America acknowledges Alexander the Greek as Alexander the Great. He's popular around the world and known as Alexander the Great. He is recorded. That's how you know the Bible is real, because you have real historical people who were kings and actually ruled the world and had dynasties are recorded in the Bible, and they were our oppressors back then. So in First Maccabees, it starts off showing how Alexander the Greek ruled for some time. Then he passed away and passed on and divided his kingdom up. And then you had the other Greeks that ruled after him. And then so the Greeks came. They went and conquered Egypt. They went and conquered certain parts of almost all the known world at that time. And then they came to Israel. They came to Israel, went to war with Israel, killed a lot of Israelites. A lot of Israelites left at the time. And then they came to the city of Odin, and they took away. First they were in the city of David, and they took away all the holy things and all our holy ornaments out of our temples. So they took the menorah. They took the Ark of the Covenant. They took a lot of things. They took a lot of our things that are holy to us out of our temple, and then they put idols in place. They put idols, so they profaned our temples and our Sabbaths, and a lot of us ran out of the city of David, ran out of Israel, and it was filled with Greeks and heathens. So they gentrified, forced gentrified our people, and Jerusalem looked way different from the actual words in the Bible is, for the people who were born in Jerusalem, they could not. They didn't even know where they were. They couldn't see. It looked way different to them because it was filled with heathens. There was no, there was no praising of the Most High. There was all praising. They now worship idols and worship false gods. And we're going to catch up. So we stopped where one of the chiefs came to the city of Odin, where Mattathias was, and his sons, and they wanted him to eat swine's flesh. And they wanted him to and they wanted him to since Mattathias was well known in his city, in the city of Odin, with it makes perfect sense to have a leader or a person that everybody follows to do something first, and then the rest will follow. Just like today in Black culture, you have celebrities, a lot of our young kids. We might fashion ourselves after hip hop culture, and a lot of kids fashion themselves after what the celebrities and rappers are wearing today. For Black people, you have a lot of older Black people. They follow so-called Black leaders, your Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, and Tyler Perry, Steve Harvey, people like that. Older Black people follow and respect. So, the chief of the chief officers of the heathen king at that time, King Antiochus, he sent his chief officers down there to have the people to collect tribute, to collect taxes, and act like first. So the chief officer came. Let's actually pull it up. Let's pull where we stopped off at. Oh, God. And I believe it was at First Maccabees, and we can start where the chief officer came to collect tribute, and came and act like he came peacefully, but he actually came for war. I mean, he came to collect the taxes and then still killed the people. Let me see. We're going to start. Let's start at First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 56. Young man has it, you can get it.
First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 56. And when they had rent in pieces the books of the law which they found.
So this is the scrolls. So this is what they ripped in pieces is our scriptures and our scrolls. So imagine the Greeks are coming into your land. They take this scroll here, they take this thing here, and they burn it and they rip it. So they're trying to straight up destroy our history, destroy our culture, destroy our holy laws. Go ahead.
They burnt them with fire.
Mm-hmm. They burned them with fire. That's what they did. That's what they did to our scrolls and our scriptures, man. They burnt them. They wanted us to stop following the Most High and now follow their Greek gods. They wanted us to worship Zeus and whatever gods they had at that time. Go ahead.
Verse 57. And wheresoever was found with any the book of the testament, or if any consented to the law, the king's commandment was that they should put him to death.
Right. So if you consented to the law, meaning what? What does that mean if you consent to the law?
If you consented to the law, you were still loyal to the Most High, but they will persecute you because you were loyal to the Most High.
All right, get a brother hand. That's exactly what it means. At that time, the Greeks on purpose, would try to get us to eat swine's flesh, and they know it was Israelite culture, and it's written in the Bible for us not to that pork is abominable for us to eat. Now you can have it as a pet in your farm and everything like that, but eating it we did not do. So it was plenty of disgusting evil things that the Greeks did that they would try to get us to do. But if we stayed loyal to the Most High and stayed loyal to the laws of the Most High, we died. And it's better that we do that all the time, even today. It's better that who was it? Pete Diddy. He said, "Vote or die." It's better that we die than vote. Better that all Black people die than vote, because voting has got us nowhere. It just got you confused and hurt. You confused. You voted for somebody. You voted for Obama and thought things were going to change. Nothing changed. Obama did nothing, not a damn thing for Black people. then a lot of us fell for the same trick because Joe Biden is Obama's boy, or we just wanted Trump out of office, which it didn't matter who was going to be in office. You know what I'm saying? Either way, America's evil. And rather a Democrat or Republican is in office, black man, you still are going to be killed. You still going to be discriminated against. Go ahead. But if we consent to the law, then we were going to be put to death. Read on. Hey, Salani, bro, you get some ice? Is this some ice possible?
I can check you. Okay.
Go ahead.
Verse 58. Thus did they by their authority unto the Israelites every month, to as many as were found in the cities.
And they did this every month. Every month they come to the city of Israel and check and see what we're doing. See if we're continuing to worship, keep the Sabbath, worship the Most High, follow His laws, or are we actually now following new gods and false gods, and now putting on togas and fully embracing Greek culture, right, or the culture of King Antiochus. Go ahead.
Verse 59. Now the 25th day of the month, they did sacrifice upon the idol altar,
right,
which was upon the altar of God.
Right, the idol altar. So, like I said, imagine this altar right here. Right here, this is our altar right here. This is our holy altar. And imagine, they take the scroll, take the monarch, take all these things off, and now they put Santa Claus right here. They put an Easter bunny right here. They put eggs right here. And everybody coming to worship the Easter eggs. And they doing how we do the Sabbath service. We come up here and we blow the horn and we salute the Torah. Now imagine people salute the damn Easter rabbit. People salute the Santa Claus. That's what was going on back then. Go ahead.
Verse 60. At which time, according to the commandment, they put to death certain women that had caused their children to be circumcised.
Right, they even killed the woman. Now the woman, and it's our culture and in our law that our sons get circumcised on the 6th day, the 6th or the 8th day, and then that's our culture. So now, when they found out that our sisters was keeping our sons, was circumcised their sons, now those women got killed. That's how far they would go to erase your culture. You know what I'm saying? When you're reading this, it should, ignite your zeal and to bring it back to Most High culture. Shalom, what's going on, bro? So, it should bring, we read this, we're reading how they would come monthly and check whether we was worshiping a false god or still worshiping the Most High. All right? Go ahead.
Verse 61. And they hanged the infants about their necks.
Right. So the infants now, because on the 8th day, when the kid was when a baby boy is 8 days old, I can put it right here. It was 8 days old, he used to get circumcised. So now that 8-day-old baby is hung because he is circumcised. They hung the baby. You know what I'm saying? This is how violent they get. Doing everything in their power to make sure that we straight up fear them and not fear the Most High.
Right.
They had to curb our fear, turn our fear from the Lord, and now curve out and try to make us now fear a man, fear the oppressor. Go ahead.
And rifled their houses,
Mm-hmm.
and slew them that had circumcised them.
Right, rifle their houses. Go through each house. Look at the baby. Where the baby boy at? Check the infant boy. Check his rod. Pull his diaper down. Check his rod to see. And if he was circumcised, that baby was hung. That's why we should, when you're reading this, let it ignite your zeal to bring out the Hebrew culture, and bring out these laws, and make sure that we follow it. You get what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Verse 62. Howbeit, many in Israel were fully resolved and confirmed in themselves not to eat any unclean thing.
Right, and that's a beautiful thing. The beautiful thing was that day it was honorable. That day we chose death rather than be a traitor to the Most High.
Right.
We chose death that day. It said we were resolved, like we were firm, and we stood sturdy.
Oh God.
Go ahead.
Verse 63. Wherefore they chose rather to die, that they might not be defiled with meats.
Total one west.
Damn right.
You know what I'm saying? We want no cowards in our camp, only men prepared to die. We prepared to choose the Most High. We choose the Most High, man. Rather die than, switch up and go take on our oppressor's culture.
Right. Oh God.
Go ahead.
And that they might not profane the holy covenant.
That we might not profane our holy covenant. That we might not profane the promise that our forefathers made, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Oh,
So we made a promise to the Lord that we will keep them laws.
Right.
And in return, he'll protect us.
Oh God.
And then in return, he'll be an enemy to our enemies. Go ahead.
So then they died.
And it don't matter because reincarnation is real.
That's right.
They will come right back. Go ahead.
64. And there was a great wrath upon Israel.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
That's it, sir.
Go ahead.
Chapter 2. First Maccabees, chapter 2, verse 1. In those days arose Mattathias, the son of John, the son of Simeon, a priest of the son of Joarib, from Jerusalem, and dwelt in Modin. And he had 5 sons, Johanan, called Caius, Simon, called Thassus, Judas, who was called Maccabeus.
Vasi. The Simon called Vasi.
Simon called Thassi. Simon called Thassi, Judas, who was called Maccabeus, Eleazar called Abaron, and Jonathan, whose surname was Athos. And when he saw the blasphemies that were committed in Judah and Jerusalem, he said, Woe is me! Wherefore was I born to see this misery of my people?
Right, my dad said, woe is me means old English, like kill me, man. Like kill me with as though now I have to see. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather die. I should just die instead of than be born and living right now where so I have to see the misery of my people. I have to see babies hung.
Right.
I have to see infants hung in the street.
Right.
I have to see women being killed for circumcising their sons. I have to see people being killed for not eating pork. I gotta see people killed for keeping the Sabbath. I gotta see people being killed for praying to the Most High.
Right.
You just trying to keep your culture and please the Most High, and you're being killed for doing it.
Right.
That is hell.
God.
Go ahead.
I'll start at 7. I lost my space.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 7. He said, Woe is me! Wherefore was I born to see this misery of my people and of the holy city, and to dwell there, when it was delivered into the hand of my enemy,
right,
and the sanctuary into the hand of strangers.
Right, just like now, our holy land is Israel, and now you got 2 heathens fighting over the land. The Lord is having them fight because it's not their land. It don't belong to the Arab. It don't belong to the children of Israel. It don't belong to the son of Ishmael. And it don't belong to the sons of the Edomites, those Jewish people, man. It belongs to us. And also, it's misery that now when you come in here and learn these scriptures, once you learn this truth, you know what I'm saying, you're never the same. You learn this truth. And that's why when you first come in and you learn the truth, you want to spread the truth and teach everybody. Because, you know, you now have been informed. You now, you know, the veil have been taken off your eyes.
Right.
And you can see the world for what it is. It's a disgusting world for what it is. And now, you know, you get depressed and sad. You're like, man, I was celebrating Christmas last year. You know, so this year I'm not gonna do it. And you got to fight against your family because they just opened up presents with you last year. Now this year you're like, nah, I'm not doing it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's, you know, that, you know, you find out that Christmas is the worship of Nimrod. You know, so it's a lot of stuff you find out. There's a lot of stuff you'll get angry about once you know, see the truth, and it's miserable. Go ahead.
Verse 8. Her temple is become as a man without glory.
Mm-hmm.
Her glorious vessels are carried away into captivity.
Right. So, you know, everything, like I said, the golden censers, you know, things we use to burn the incense, Amon Ra, the scrolls, everything taken out, taken from the temple. You know what I'm saying? Our temple is like a man with no glory, like, you know, a man who, you know, a man with no glory, you know, is a weak man, a man that's shameful. You know what I'm saying? A man that makes a fool out of himself. You know what I'm saying? Imagine a man that just, you know, real, like in the street. He laid out in the street, sleep because he, you know, drunk too much. Or, you know, somebody, you know, it's anybody without glory. A man that's hysterical, he run down the street naked. A man with no glory. Right. And that's how our temple was. Right. Our temple was like a man with no glory. Go ahead.
Her infants are slain in the streets.
Her infants are slain in the streets. You got circumcised infants in the streets. Go ahead. Killed in the street. Their blood spilled in the streets. Go ahead.
Her young men with the sword of the enemy.
Right. So now you got the young men, of course. You know, a lot of times you see it in like African movies, where as though a rebel African group or a rebel African army will go and conquer another African city or village, and they'll take the young boys as like kids or young teenagers and make them join their rebel army. If anybody's seen a movie like that, that's how this is. And just like America now, America, you know, the African movie is more savage with it because they come in and take the children, rape the children, burn the city, and the kids are crying. And if the kids don't join the army, they get their hand cut off or they get killed. Mm-hmm. Now, in America, they make it more beautiful. They got the army commercial. Be what you can be, or you know, how you could be. How you know how it goes.
Be all you can be.
Be all you can be.
Army of one.
Army one. Like they got a commercial. The commercial looks good. It looks beautiful. They update the commercial every year or every couple years. They make it, you know, they make it more modern. Right. Make it more beautiful. Than I remember in my high school, they had people in the army. Soldiers would come and try to recruit at our high school.
Right.
You know, and then like when you're a kid and living in America, sometimes you know you'll see a man or a woman, a man or a woman dressed up in their full army get up, and like you know you see them in the fatigues and you looking at them like, man. I remember when I was a kid, every time I seen a soldier walk down, I used to salute them because I was respect, you know that you know what they was doing. So you know that's what they were doing here. When here they had that young men. And it says, read that part again.
Her young men with the sword of the enemy.
Her young men with the sword of the enemy. Right now, you know, a black man, you know, a lot of us, you know, got family. A lot of us was in the Navy or the Army or whatever. And ignorantly not knowing, we was fighting. You know, we joined the Army. And you got brothers, you know, who went over to Vietnam or Iraq and went on tours and all that, you know, and fought for America, and they came back home, and he still treated like, you know, a nigga. You know, so we wouldn't have fought for the enemy, and you know, thought we were doing a good thing, or thought it was like, okay, we're not gonna go to college, so let's go to the army, or you know, you went for the benefits, or whatever reason you went for. Go ahead.
Concept. I was reading the autobiography of Muhammad Ali, and he was saying he raised in the South and whatnot, and everybody knew who he was. When he went to the Olympics, everybody was rooting for him, cheering for him. And when he won the gold, they threw a parade for him and said, hey, you're you're a hometown hero. You're one of the best of us. But he couldn't even go downtown to the to a market just to get a hot dog. They shunned him, and that was one of the turning points and focal points in his life, where he said he fought for his country on the world stage, brought honor and glory to what he thought was his country. And then when he went back home, he couldn't even sit on the front of the bus or walk in the front of a restaurant.
Right, man. Right. Same thing for what he's saying is Muhammad Ali went to the Olympics, won gold. When you go to the Olympics, you're competing against Japan, Germany, and the whole world, different countries. It's America. And so now him as a black American wins the gold. Everybody has a parade for him. But then when he goes home, nobody respects it. When he goes to America, nobody's respecting that gold medal anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like they looking at him like, what you doing in the store? We don't serve niggas here.
Oh God. And
then you got the three brothers. What's the brothers that raised their fists in the Olympics?
Two.
You got two brothers that raised their fists in the Olympics.
Carl.
Right. They went and won. They went and won what? Silver,
gold, and bronze.
They won gold and bronze, and then raised their fists up, and that was it for them. You get what I'm saying? So go ahead.
Like, I think that was in front of Hitler. Was that in front?
No, that wasn't in front of Hitler.
The one Jesse Owens was in front of Hitler.
Mm-hmm. So like, if I may say, but about Muhammad Ali, he was like one of the few to realize like still a nigga, and then he actually cared. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of people who get this still a nigga feeling from white America. They just don't care.
What do you mean, like they don't care? He cared.
Like when he noticed it, he actually cared about it. It hit him, and he didn't join the army because of that. You know what I mean? Things like that.
Oh, you mean like, okay, so you said more like you want to say he acknowledged it.
Right.
Like he acknowledged it. What was going on? So it made him think. It made him change. It made him change his perspective on his views on America, and how he looked at America. Let's read on.
Tommy Smith and John Carlos was the two brothers John Carlos.
And John Carlos, they won gold and bronze. For America. And then they wanted to, they put the fist up for their people, and they that was all downhill. It went all downhill. Go ahead and read.
Verse 10. What nation hath not had a part in her kingdom?
What nation has not had a part in Israel? What nation has not had a part in black pockets today in America?
Right.
You get what I'm saying? The same thing that's happening back then is happening now. Esau always said, just like what is that? Psalms 83. With the crafty counsel.
Right.
That's what this is. This is crafty counsel.
Right.
The crafty counsel also is when you have carryouts in your neighborhood, you have gas stations in your neighborhood that's not black owned, you have food markets that's not black owned, you got grocery stores that's not black owned. You got black women going to get their nails and weave from the Asians. That is crafty counsel.
Right.
The Ethiopians, so we go to their cafes and bars and lounges. You know what I'm saying? The places we go to a bar for entertainment, a lot of them is owned by heathens, so all of them get to eat.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? From the daytime, when you go to the supermarket, owned by a heathen.
Right.
You get to go get some clothes, that's owned by a heathen. A woman want to go get pretty, get her nails done, and get some, weave or whatever, or go to the beauty supply store, a heathen. Food, a heathen. You know what I'm saying? Nightlife. You want to go take your woman out to go out to eat.
Right.
Or you want to go to a bar.
Right.
Or go to a club owned by a heathen.
Right.
Read that part again. Every nation, you can say what it says.
Verse 10. What nation hath not had a part in her kingdom?
What nation has not had a part in our kingdom? What nation has not? Go ahead, Bakash.
Sir. Even the I just found out those the so-called Latino supermarkets. Their own sir. There's not even the Latinos that own it.
Yeah, you'll see, the Asian, you'll see a Latino market says Latino something or something in Spanish, something mark. And Latinos, some of the Latinos are the cashiers, but then you see that who the big boss is always an Asian. Always an Asian. Just add some some carryouts I see ways though. So now some Asians who allow the Latinos to be a cashier, be a cook. But then you'll see it's Asians that's running it. Or actually, I'm sorry, the Asians are the cashiers, and the Asians are the one that's answering the phone and handling the business and doing the credit card swipes. But you got our brothers and sisters cooking in the back. What nation has not had a hand in our kingdom? Has not fed of our people? Go ahead.
Israel.
Say again.
Israel is the only nation that didn't have a hand in our kingdom.
Right, man. It's terrible, man. That's what we got. We got to get back to the Most High. Go ahead, bro.
Hey, come. So, look, if I may, this scripture right here, this could be considered how it said what nation hasn't had a part in pretty much in our hand. What could this be seen like as one of the curses as well?
Mm-hmm.
Like one of the curses or punishments or whatever that was talked about in Deuteronomy.
You can this could be a precept for you want to pull hunger and thirst, but really hunger and thirst. When it says what nation is not, but really you pull hunger and thirst, but really to really match it up, you want to pull. This is crafty counsel.
Oh God.
This is crafty Psalms 83 crafty counsel.
Oh God.
What else? I think it's one in Job when Job spoiled us. For sure, but for sure this is a precept for the crafty counsel.
Oh God, so okay, God.
And I'm gonna remember the other ones. Go ahead.
God.
Pick up on Shaphat. Let them know what verse you at. Go ahead. Let you. Okay, let them pick up. Go ahead. It's not bad. It don't matter. It's good. All right. Let's go ahead. It's too hard.
First Maccabees chapter 2, verse 10. What nation had not had a part in her kingdom and gotten of her spoils?
Mm-hmm.
Verse 11. All her ornaments are taken away.
Right, all the ornaments, the scrolls, the horn, the menorah, beautiful vases and glasses of wine and things like that. Go ahead.
Of a free woman.
Was it something different, Bakash?
It's a little bit different, sir. Salakia.
Oh,
Concert, yeah, it's a little bit different.
Okay, take let him let me see. Grab the problem. Go ahead, Barack, continue to read.
Come. We at SHALAM.
What verse you at?
First Maccabees.
Mm-hmm.
First Maccabees chapter 2, verse 11.
First Maccabees chapter 2, verse 11. All her ornaments are taken away.
Mm-hmm.
Of a free woman, she has become a bond slave.
Right. So we were imagine Israel being free, and we were free to worship the Most High, free to keep the Sabbath, free to not eat pork, not eat crab, shrimp, and lobster, free not to be a homosexual, free to circumcise our damn baby boys on the 8th day. But now we're not free to do that anymore.
Right.
Now she's a bondwoman.
Right.
Go ahead and read it.
Verse 12. And behold, our sanctuary, even our beauty and our glory, is laid waste.
Right.
And the Gentiles have profaned it.
Right, and the Gentiles have profaned it. The Gentiles now took our temple and put their idols in there. Go ahead.
God will come. Verse 13. To what end, therefore, shall we live any longer?
Right. So Mattathias is seeing all this, and he's feeling miserable. He's like, man, there ain't even no need for us to live anymore. We might as well just die. Go ahead and read.
Verse 14. Then Mattathias and his sons rent their clothes and put on sackcloth and mourn very sore. In the meanwhile, the king's officers, such as compelled the people to revolt, came into the city molding to make them sacrifice.
Right. So now you got the king's. You say what it say? The king's officers.
The king's officers.
They coming in now to convince the people to revolt and to do something to stand up against the Most High. To now worship the king and keep his laws. Go ahead.
Such as compelled the people to revolt, came into the city molding to make them sacrifice. Verse 16. And when many of Israel came unto them, Mattathias also and his sons came together. Then answered the king's officers and said to Mattathias, on this wise thou art a ruler and an honorable and great man in the city, and strengtheneth with sons and brethren.
Right. So now the man in the city or somebody that's popular in the city, just like a celebrity or anybody that's someone that's anybody that's popular in the city.
Right.
Go ahead.
Verse 18.
That has big influence. Go ahead.
Verse 18. Now therefore come thou first and fulfill the king's commandment, like as all the heathen have done, yea, and the men of Judah also.
Right. So now the king's officers coming and saying, look, we convinced the heathens to now come and drop their laws and to follow our laws. That's why you'll see a Chinese man celebrating Christmas. I seen Muslims, full out Muslims who keep Ramadan but also keep Christmas. I didn't seen that. I didn't seen a full out Arab that only lived in America. I know an Arab that only lived in America for 3 years. 3 years. He keeps Ramadan and all the Arab things, but also does Christmas too. That's what's going on then. Then they had all the heathens to leave their Allah, Buddha, Hindu, and all the other gods and to worship the Greek gods. And now the officers are coming to the Israelites, and now they saying, look, we got the heathens to worship our gods. Now you should do it. Right. Go ahead and read on.
And the men of Judah also, and such as remain at Jerusalem, so shalt thou and thy house be in the number of the king's friends.
Right. So now if you follow the king's order and sacrifice this swine and now worship a false god, we're gonna make you rich. You're gonna be considered the king's friend. Right. Whenever the king have parties and balls and banquets, you'll be invited. Right. You know what I'm saying? Just imagine, imagine like a president, and then you got the uppity Uncle Toms. You got Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton at some White House ball, and they feel so important at the White House ball, and they smiling and snickering with the devils, and they feel important because they at the White House ball, or White House banquet. Same as that's the offer that they're giving to Mattathias. Go ahead.
And thou and thy children shall be honored with silver and gold and many rewards.
And y'all gonna be honored. Y'all gonna be honored with silver and gold, and y'all gonna be lifted up and be rich. Go ahead.
Verse 19. Then Mattathias answered and spake with a loud voice, though all the nations that are under the king's dominion obey him and fall away every one from the religion of their fathers.
Right. He spoke with a loud voice. He said, those Moabites left the golden cat. Right. Yeah, they left whatever, the Asians, the East Indians, they left Hindu. And the Asians left Buddha. Yeah, the Ishmael left Allah. Right. Yes, the Africans left cow piss. Right. But he said what?
God will come. And give consent to his commandments. Yet will I and my sons and my brethren walk in the covenant of our fathers.
But he said, me, my sons, and my brothers in my city, us Israelites, we ain't gonna do that. We're gonna follow the Most High laws. Go ahead, brother.
Sloppy. At the end of verse 18, they talk about they got the silver and the gold, and just talked about the gift. The gift is, I can't remember the actual scripture, but the gift is the thing that's messing them up in the first place.
You mean like what? You mean what got them killed in the first place?
But what brought them in to be killed in the first place? Like what's the scripture saying that the gift is destruction?
The gift spoils the gift spoils the heart.
The gift spoils the heart. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So like, I mean, I think the precept was where it says a wise man
is angry.
Oppression make up a wise man mad, and then it goes on to say, but a gift destroys the heart.
Right.
Yeah, that's it.
Right. So you know what I'm saying.
Does that add together with the end of 18?
So let me see. You're right, because before that, because Mattathias is oppressed. Mattathias is seeing seeing infants killed in the streets, seeing women killed in the streets, seeing the temple being defiled, and he's oppressed. You know, so and then it says the gift destroyed the heart. You can use this if you taught this. You can say, okay, Mattathias was oppressed, and then they tried to destroy him with the gift. That's what they're trying to do now. Right. He's trying to stay strong, and that's his wisdom. He's wise because he's trying to stay strong and keep the laws of the Most High. Because the fear, the beginning of fear, the fear of the Most High, to fear the Most High is the beginning of wisdom. So you can use that. You can teach the part of Mattathias first. But you can say, they tried to destroy him with the gift, but he didn't take the gift. You can explain like the gift is they try to offer him fame and gold and silver and, invitations to king's parties and balls, and he'll be the king's friend. Go ahead and continue reading.
Verse 20. Yet will I and my sons and my brethren walk in the covenant of our fathers.
Right, but me and my house.
That's right.
You get what I'm saying? That's a lot of times, a lot of times you hear Jeremiah Hyman say, me and my house, y'all can, you can go smoke weed, you can be a homosexual, but me and my house, right, we're not going to do that.
Right.
That's what Mattathias is saying.
Right.
Go ahead.
Verse 21. God forbid that we we should forsake the law and the ordinances.
Right. God forbid that we sacrifice clean animals, cattle and lamb and goat. God forbid now we go and sacrifice we sacrifice swine's flesh. Go ahead.
God will come. We will not hearken to the king's words.
We will not hearken to the king's words.
That's
go
right.
ahead.
To go from our religion, either on the right hand or the left.
Right. Go ahead.
Slugger, what is the right hand and the left mean?
Meaning, you keep it a straight path. You're not gonna, you keep it a straight path. You're not gonna, go left or go right.
Right.
If you walk in a straight path, meaning that's what just walking a straight path means. You keep a straight line. You walking them laws of the Most High. Right. Now, when you start going left and going right, that's when you start sinning. That's when brothers who started their own Israelite group, they went left and went right.
Right.
They went left and went right. They went left and trying to keep the worship of Yahweh Shai, but then also say that Edomites can be saved. So you got some got some Israelite groups, some fake Israelite groups that have Edomites in their school. And they're marrying Israelites to Edomites and acting like it's sacred. They're the ones that are going left and going right. You got people who's going right, who's allowing heathens and violent Africans into their groups, and those violent Africans have killed Israelite women. You get what I'm saying? So they have went left and went right. But Mattathias said that him and his people, him and his house, were going to keep a straight line, the straight path. Go ahead.
God will come. Now, when he had left speaking these words, there came one of the Jews in the sight of all to sacrifice on the altar which was at Moed.
Right. So now you got to heat. So now, of course, you got to sell out a traitor, somebody who fears King Antiochus more than he fears the Most High God. And that's why we are where we are today. We're in America today. Most of us are Christian, and we fear America. Most of us have chosen the reason why we're in the predicament that we are now is because we have chosen to fear Esau than fear the Most High God. That's why we respect Christmas and Easter more than the true holy day, or go to church on Sunday than really keeping the Sabbath or coming to Sabbath service.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Go ahead.
God will come. Now, when he had left speaking these words, there came one of the Jews in the sight of all to sacrifice on the altar which was at Moed, according to the king's commandment. Which thing, when Mattathias saw, he was inflamed with zeal,
right,
and his reins trembled. Neither could he forbear to show his anger according to judgment. Wherefore he ran and slew him upon that altar.
Right. So imagine Mattathias has a big speech, has a big rebuttal in front of everybody in the city, and he has a rebuttal for those heathen police chiefs who are trying to get us to revolt against the Most High. He says in front of the whole city, and the city agrees with him. But then you got one Uncle Tom, one traitor, who decides to step forward and now walk to the altar and sacrifice swine. So Mattathias sees that, get pissed off, like, you ain't just hear what I just said? And he's shaking, he's trembling. His fringes are shaking. And he couldn't even, calm himself to judge the matter. When you get angry, sometimes you can take a breather, judge the matter before you react. So you don't react on anger. He couldn't even take a breather and judge his reaction. He just reacted. Go ahead and read. Let's read his reaction.
God will come. Verse 25. Also the king's commissioner, who compelled men to sacrifice, he killed at that time, and the altar he pulled down.
Right. He killed the Uncle Tom who went to go follow the chief, and he killed the police, and he killed the king's chief, the heathen and the traitor, and he pulled down the altar, because now the altar has all the holy things cleaned off, and they got a damn Easter bunny up there. They got a damn Santa Claus up there. They got all the heathen idols on the altar. He pulled all that crap down.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
God will come. Verse 26. Thus dealt he zealously for the law of God, like as Phineas did unto Zambri, the son of Salom.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 27. And Mattathias.
So what he means by that is, thus as he did as Phineas, is because it goes back to. It goes say again.
I think is it Phineas or Phineas?
What verse you at?
Verse 26. In the middle. I think it's Phineas or Phineas.
Phineas.
It's Phineas. Okay, slap the water.
So he did the same. So he said, thus he did the same thing. He zealously of the Lord of God, like as Phineas did unto Zambri, the son of Solomon. So if I'm not mistaken, Phineas is the one who I don't know if it was the prophet Nehemiah. It was a prophet who was saying, don't let's now stop having interracial marriages. He has he's speaking to the people in the city about not having sex with heathens, and here comes one proud Negro with a Moabite and walks past the group, walked past the body of people, and took her right into the tent to go have sex with her. So now Phineas runs in there while the brother's on top of the Moabite with a javelin, with a spear. He stabs him through, because the brother's on top of the woman in missionary position. So the spear goes through the brother's back and through the Moabite. He was zealous for the Most High God. It's like we just had a speech about not having interracial marriage, and here goes some proud nigga Oh, look at my slanty-eyed woman, thinking he got something.
Right.
He got shish kebab that day. Go ahead.
Verse 27. And Mattathias cried throughout the city with a loud voice, saying, whosoever is zealous of the Lord and maintaineth the covenant, let him follow me.
Mm-hmm. So now Mattathias turned to the city and going through the city like, look, man, if you follow the Most High laws, if you worship the Most High, come follow me. We out of this land. This land is profane, has been profaned. It's disgusting. We got to get out of here. Go ahead.
What was that other prophet's name again with the N? Name starting with an N.
I don't know if it's the prophet Nehemiah. Look up Barash, look up the names in verse 26, and then give me the precept where it's at. I'll let you know who it was. Go ahead and read Barak.
Verse 28. So he and his sons fled into the mountains and left all that ever they had in the city.
Right. So they left the city. They left the discuss. Now Israel has lost its glory. Israel has been turned to a land they have not known before, and they left and went to they left. Go ahead.
Verse 29. Then many that sought after justice and judgment went down into the wilderness to dwell there.
Right. So many who sought after justice and sought to keep the Most High laws, they went and followed Mattathias into the wilderness. Go ahead.
Verse 30. Both they and their children and their wives and their cattle, because afflictions increased sore unto them.
Right, because the city got so bad, they got tired of the enemy, the oppressor, sending his soldiers every damn month to check and see if we were disobeying the Most High. That's it. Imagine that. Imagine people coming to check the city every month to make sure that you Christian, that you and then now you going to church on Sunday. Then now that they come and check every month to make sure that you are eating pork, or now when you have your Sabbath service, that you serving pork at your service. They had to escape that. Go ahead.
Hey, so I'll get certified. It was so heavy. Back in our slavery here in America, where Christianity took it off and hid, like brothers and sisters that may have known, started actually reading and the punishment, getting their eyes burned out and stuff. It almost resembles like the same thing. They used to keep a Edomite in the church service to make sure they wasn't teaching no. It's like imagine like the same thing. Imagine a brother and sister in there that knows that we the ones that's been talking on this Bible.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it's an oppressor in there that's like making sure they not teaching that or reading that.
They always did that. They always did that because they knew once we found out the truth, that it was dangerous for them. You know what I'm saying? It's dangerous for us to know the truth because now they won't have. Imagine if imagine if at least it's 50 to 70% of black people will start in the whole world start acknowledging the Most High laws. That'll be scary for the oppressor because the oppressor now feel like he don't have no control over our minds. Don't have no control over us. And then you will really see, like right now, the oppressor, does things to us, but for the most part, most of us, still wake up to do the 9 to 5 or still wake up to go to work, or most of us still, have that Christian spirit, and we don't, we don't have that rebellious spirit. We're not, revolutionary like Christ was. Right. But if 50% of us, 70% of us become revolutionary, right? It's a scary thing. Go ahead and read.
Verse 31.
What's like? You found it?
Sir. Is Numbers 25 and 6. And behold, one of the children of Israel came out and brought into his brethren a Midianitish woman in the sight of Moses and in the sight of all the congregation of the children of Israel.
So Moses was saying this. This was Moses. Go ahead.
Who were weeping before the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And when Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the priest, saw it, he rose up from amongst the congregation and took a javelin in his hand. And he went after the man of Israel into the tent and thrust both of them through, and the man of Israel and the woman through her belly.
Right. So it was through his back, and he's on top of her, so it went through her belly. Just like a shish kebab, just like a kebab. Just like he put that meat on a kebab, just like that. And that was what that Moses was speaking. Moses is speaking, and you got some proud nigga come through with a Midianitish woman.
Colonel
I
Concert.
thought it was Moabite. I remember the M, so it was not Moabite woman. It was a Midianitish woman. And go ahead.
It's like in the first one, it says, and Israel abode in Shittim, and the people begun to commit whoredom with the daughters of Moab.
Okay, so it does say Moab. So at that time, we were having sex with Moab, but that, so Moses is saying, leave this, let's stop this. And then you got some brother that comes with a Midianitish woman. So go ahead.
So Salaki, would you say that was like a chicken and pork kebab? I mean, shish kebab.
Yeah. It was
unclean.
That's exactly what that was. That's exactly what that was.
All right.
And then the same thing happened in Maccabees with Mattathias, the same thing. Now years later, the same brother would get the zeal of the Lord and go and kill them. Now we can't do that today. I know we got the zeal of the Lord. We want to punch brothers out, kill them or whatever. Don't do that today. Don't go and kill a brother today. You know what I'm saying? That happened in that time. It will happen in the future. Brothers and sisters will be, in the kingdom of heaven, in the kingdom of Christ, brothers and sisters will be killed for not keeping the law. So we'll go back to that. Go ahead.
Lock it up, but we in a whole different covenant right now. So that was a different covenant. They was killing people off the break.
Right. So we're saying, but right now we're not doing it because right now we're in the grace period and we're up on our oppressor. Like you kill somebody now, you're going to jail. But in the kingdom of the Most High Christ, you will be slaughtered. You will be slaughtered. Go ahead. What verse you at?
Verse 30, 1 Maccabees chapter 2, verse 31.
Go ahead, read on.
Verse 31. Now, when it was told the king's servants and the host that was at Jerusalem in the city of David that certain men who had broken the king's commandment were gone down into the secret places in the wilderness,
right,
they pursued after them a great number, and having overtaken them, they camped against them and made war against them on the Sabbath day.
Right. So now the word has got back to the king that look, Mattathias and the people in the city of Modin and some Israelites, they decided not to follow you, king. So the king decided to send his army against them, and they made a camp, and now they made on the day of the Sabbath. On the day of the Sabbath, this is for all you fake Israelites who scared to cook on the Sabbath, who don't know what it means, don't know what the Sabbath really means. You can you scared to push the button on the microwave, you feel like you only microwave food, you can't cook anything, you can't lift anything up. The Sabbath service is the day of the Sabbath is a day of rest from servile work. Servile meaning from your slavery or from servile work. That's what the day of Sabbath, that's what the rest is for.
Oh, good.
You can do whatever you want on Sabbath service. That's the day of your rest. Meaning you don't have to lay down and go to sleep. You just, that's a break from servile work. Now, here's a precept. Here's one of the precepts. Now we're going to read a story about who, about some Israelites. Something is about to go down on the Sabbath, and some Israelites are scared to protect their lives on the Sabbath.
Oh, God.
Because they believe they cannot lift a finger on the damn Sabbath.
Right.
Being a full-out idiot.
Right.
Go ahead and read.
Verse 33. 1 Maccabees chapter 2, verse 33. And they said unto them, let that which ye have done hitherto suffice. Come forth, and do according to the commandment of the king, and ye shall live. Verse 34. But they said, we will not come forth, neither will we do the king's commandment to profane the Sabbath day. So then they gave them the battle with all speed.
Right. So now you got some. So now you got some Israelites who said, you know, we're not going to follow the king's commandment.
Right.
We're not going to follow the king's commandment, and nor did they want to fight on the Sabbath.
Right.
They said we can profane the Sabbath because if they lift up a sword, they thought that was them profaning the Sabbath.
Right.
They don't know what Sabbath is for you to rest from servile work. Now, don't be an idiot. If somebody's coming to knock you out, protect yourself. Put your guards up.
Right.
Somebody coming to destroy your household, you know, pick up your lawful gun and protect your damn house.
Yeah, right.
Don't leave your gun. Don't leave your gun in the lockbox because it's a Sabbath.
Right.
You're gonna damn die on the Sabbath because you're an idiot.
Right.
Go ahead.
Verse 36. Howbeit they answered them not, neither cast they a stone at them, nor stopped the places where they lay hid, but said, let us die and all. So let us die all in our innocency.
Right. So you know they went. They didn't understand, and in that day they did not. They did not put that guard up. They said, you know what? It's a Sabbath. They thought they were doing the same. They thought they were doing the right thing by not obeying the heathen king's laws. That's number one. Okay, they was right about that. What they messed up at is, okay, it's a Sabbath, so I got heathens coming to go to war with us and trying to make us serve the king. We're not going to serve the king, but we're also not going to protect ourselves. We're going to die. What it says,
but let us die all in our innocence.
Let us die in all our innocence. That's a weak, coward way to go. That's a coward way to go.
Right.
Let us die in our innocence. Nigga, put the sword up.
Right.
And fight, and the Lord will be with you.
Right.
Don't understand that right there, verse 36. Those is your fake Israelites who's scared to push start on the microwave button on Saturday. That's them. Go ahead and read.
Heaven and earth will testify for us that you put us to death wrongfully.
And they thought they sound so honorable.
Right.
They thought they were so honorable. No, we're not gonna fight on the Sabbath. We're gonna just let them kill us. Go ahead. Go ahead and kill us. And the earth is gonna speak for us. Go ahead and read. Mm-hmm.
So they rose up against them in battle on the Sabbath, and they slew them with their wives and children and their cattle to the number of 1,000 people.
Killed 1,000 people who decided not to fight because it was a Sabbath. Go ahead.
Now when Matthias and his friends understood thereof, they mourned for them right sore.
Right, and it was right sore because those are still our people. It was still sad. Go ahead and read.
And one of them said to another, if we all do as our brethren have done, and fight not for our lives and laws against the heathen, they will now quickly root us out of the earth.
Right. So now somebody has some damn sense. It was sad that it was sad that our people, 1,000 of us died, but they died because those men who decided to do that had no sense and did not understand keeping the Sabbath. So somebody with some damn sense said, if we don't fight on the Sabbath, they're gonna quickly kill all Israelites on the planet, and there'll be no Israelites to have sex and make more children, to reproduce and make more generations and generations of Israelites. So they will kill us, and our laws will disappear. It'll be no one to keep our culture, to keep our Israelite culture. It'll be no one to keep the laws of the Most High God. All of us will be rooted up quickly if we don't fight. Someone has some damn common sense. Go ahead and read.
At that time, therefore, they decreed, saying, whosoever shall come to make battle with us on the Sabbath day, we will fight against him.
Read it again.
At that time, therefore, they decreed, saying, whosoever shall come to make battle with us on the Sabbath day, we will fight against
Right,
them.
they said, damn that. We fighting on the Sabbath. We want a war. Because this is a greater thing. This ain't about keeping the Sabbath and not lifting a finger. This is about us fighting for God.
That's what.
If they kill us right now, they're going to kill all Israelites. There'll be not one Israelite left on the earth to continue the generations of Israel and to continue the laws of the Most High God.
Right.
We fight for the laws of the Most High God right here. We fight for the holy bloodlines of the children of Israel. So we're going to fight on the Sabbath. Go ahead.
So what it be saying, like you say, the Sabbath, the man's not for the Sabbath, Sabbath's for the man.
Right. Sabbath, you can play basketball if you want to. Whatever you want to do on the Sabbath, you can do. As long as you're not slaving. And so even some of us in America right now have to slave on the Sabbath. But if you don't, if you can get out of it, get out of it. Don't slave on the Sabbath. Go ahead. But because we're in slavery, sometimes we have to. Just like back then, they had slavery, so they had to leave and flee. They left and fled. That's another thing for these fake Israelites. They might see this and see that Maccabees fled Israel because it was filthy. Right now, America is filthy, so they'll flee America and go live in Israel. Go live in some fool that lives in the Philippines. He's a damn idiot. Over and he did go over there and keep the Most High law. He think he act like he keep the Most High law, but he's over there buying Filipino woman who look like malnourished 12-year-old boys. No Filipino woman over there is looking like malnourished 10-year-old boys. They're like 3 foot tall and like 70 pounds, flat chested, no meats. And they about 20. You'll be the 25-year-old Filipino woman who look like a 10-year-old boy over there. You see once the Filipinos get over here, the reason why they might look attractive here is because they eat here. They eating here. They ain't eating at home. Damn idiot. Go and they think everybody's go live in Philippines and live here and live there, and they're not understanding the scriptures. Go ahead.
With the reader, sir?
Yeah, go ahead real quick.
It was just a thought, sir. That girl Jenny Ma that's messing with Jeezy.
Right.
Like he would be the one to be thrust through with the spit.
He would. Jeezy could have anybody he want. Kanye West could have anybody he want, but they chose to choose Jenny Ma and Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian got a damn builder hole. You got a damn build. Yeah, you gotta build stuff on her.
Good night.
She didn't look how she looked. She had to build her face, get past her surgery. She didn't have that butt. She got to put that butt on her Edomite frame, and that's why it looks crazy. Because she still got an Edomite frame, but she has trying to have a black woman butt, and it's not. It's just Play-Doh butt, and it looked dumb. It looked dumb. Right. Go ahead. She looked like an ant. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Go ahead.
Neither will we die old as our brethren that were murdered in the secret places. Then came there unto him a company of Assyrians who were mighty men of Israel, even all such as were voluntarily devoted unto the Lord.
Now you see that? You see how now they went to 1,000 Israelites who thought they were keeping the Sabbath and thought they were being honorable. It was still a sad thing that our brothers died that day. But then you have Maccabees and some men among him who got some sense saying, look, if they kill us, they're gonna kill all the Israelites, and they're gonna be none. We're gonna be extinct. That's what he's saying. We're gonna be damn extinct, and that's it. We gotta stand here to live and continue and continue our generations and keep the laws. And now look at the Lord. The Lord sent some devout men from the land of some devout Israelites from Assyria. Go ahead and read.
Oh, good.
McQuarrie should pick up. Where you at?
Verse.
Verse 42. Then came there unto him a company of Assyrians, who were mighty men of Israel, even all such as were voluntarily devoted unto the law. Also they that fled for persecution joined themselves unto them, and were a stay unto them.
Right. So they flew. So the Assyrians, they came from a land where they was fleeing from, because they was catching them over there. They were trying to make them, force them to turn from the Most High. So they said, hell no, they left. And they met up with Mattathias. The Lord brought them more men to strengthen their army. Go ahead.
So they joined their forces and smote sinful men in their anger, and wicked men in their wrath. But the rest fled to the heathen for succor.
Right. So they killed wicked men in their wrath, but the rest of them, of course, the majority of them, just like the majority of us today, fled to the heathen. Go ahead.
Yeah, so like I said, this is really the first time I'm hearing this though, but what the Assyrians, they were Israelites too.
Right, that's what it's, the city, I think that is the word, it'll be Assyria, right? The city?
It says a company of Assyrians.
So these are black people. These are, let's see if the word Assyria is the city. Sorry, Barak.
Look up the word.
Yeah, Assyrian. So basically, even black people that lived in Greece, they'll call them Greeks, even though they're not. Just like we're called American, but we're not American. We're niggas that live in America. Them, if the city is called a city, they're just Negroes that lived in the city, and that's why they had to leave that city. Go ahead.
It's like, could we go off the fact that it says they were devoted to the law?
Right. So it's saying that they devout men, just like Cornelius. He was in an Italian band. He's an Italian army, but they called him a devout man. Same thing. He was a devout man because he was devout to the laws of the Most High. Go ahead.
The people who fled to the heathens, that was the rest of us.
Yeah.
Okay, come on.
Go ahead.
One last question. Every time in the Bible or the Apocrypha, when they talk about a devout man, it will be talking about Israelite. All right, I'm good with it.
Right.
2 hours, sir.
Go ahead.
One of the definitions that I have is, it says a member of a sect characterized by its religious zeal and piety that flourished in the 2nd century BC during the time of the Maccabees and vigorously resisted the Hellenization of Jewish culture and religion.
Right. So they was trying to, frame. I was trying to find but that's just the definition of Assyrian.
You want the city, yo?
I was just trying to see that the reason why they was calling them Assyrian.
Okay.
So it could be that right there, what you just read.
Go
Go ahead and continue. We got it in the class.
Verse 43. Also they that fled for persecution joined themselves unto them and were stayed unto them. So they joined their forces and smote sinful men in their anger and wicked men in their wrath, but the rest fled to the heathen for succor. Then Mattathias and his friends were round about and pulled down the altars, and what children soever they found within the coast of Israel uncircumcised, those they circumcised valiantly. They pursued also after the proud men, and the work prospered in their hand. So they recovered the law out of the hand of the Gentiles and out of the hand of the kings, neither suffered they the sinner to triumph.
Right, Most High Christ. So what they did was you had devout men, you had men who was leaving their cities because the Greeks or King Antiochus had sent his army to conquer their land and to make them and to Hellenize their culture and their laws. But then so now you got everybody who was leaving for refuge band together, and now they're going to war with the kings. They're going to war with these heathens and recovering the scrolls out of their hands. The Lord is with them. The Lord is with them. If the Lord wasn't with them, he'll have them die. If the Lord cared about them damn fighting the Sabbath, then they would have died. That's what you fake Israelites gotta know. The work of the Lord has to be done any day. Just like the scriptures say, even the priests work on the Sabbath. The work of the Lord don't stop. Go ahead and read.
Khan. Verse 49. Now when the time drew near that Mattathias should die, he said unto his sons, now hath pride and rebuke gotten strength, and the time of destruction and the wrath of indignation. Now therefore, my sons, be ye zealous of the law, and give your lives to the covenant of your fathers. Call to remembrance what acts our fathers did in their time, so shall ye receive great honor and an everlasting name.
Right, that's so beautiful because we, just like the scriptures say, ask our fathers. That's what he just said just there. He said, keep the laws, be zealous, and remember, study the Old Testament, study the Testaments and the books, our records before, and read the records of when the prophets and other men stood strong with the Most High. They were successful in standing with the Most High. The same way we do now. We read about First Maccabees. We read about the whole book, Old and New Testament, and the Apocrypha, and we're supposed to take that and remember the struggle and the battle that they went through. So now when we go through our battles, we will remember them. A lot of times, a lot of brothers do that. I do that myself when those certain things pop up, and you remember, okay, well, David went through this, or this brother went through this, Moses went through this. I'm gonna handle it the same way Moses had handled it. I'm gonna handle it the same way David had handled it. I'm gonna handle it the same way Christ had handled it. It's a sweet layout that we got.
Right.
All we gotta do is follow it. That's what Mattathias is saying. Go ahead.
Khan. Verse 52. Was not Abraham found faithful in temptation, and it was imputed unto him for righteousness?
Right. So you're bringing up Abraham's records. Go ahead.
Joseph, in the time of his distress, kept the commandment and was made Lord of Egypt.
Right. He said, remember Joseph in the distress. Like when Joseph was going through hell, he stayed strong, and then the Lord made him king over Egypt.
Right.
That's what we gotta remember.
Oh, God.
We gotta remember we gotta remember all the priests and prophets, all the kings, all the devout men, and it will help us in the battle that we're going through right now in 2021.
Right.
Go ahead.
Khan. Verse 54. Phinehas, our father, in being zealous and fervent, obtained the covenant of an everlasting priesthood. Jesus, for fulfilling the word, was made a judge in Israel. Caleb, for bearing witness before the congregation, received the heritage of the land. David, for being merciful, possessed the throne of an everlasting kingdom. Elias, for being zealous and fervent for the law, was taken up into heaven.
Right. So he bringing up all he bringing down all the records of a handful of prophets and kings and devout men of the Most High, and he's saying, remember those men that we follow after them. All right.
Oh, God.
With that, we're gonna pass the class of priest and officer Barak.
Security announcements. That's a lot.
Security announcements. We the I.S.U.P.K out of 1 West 125th Street out of Harlem, New York, under command of Junior YAHANNA. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They're to be saluted only. They're here to share themselves of the word. After 6 months, if a brother or a sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or a sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21. In the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 8 through 10. It means 10th in Hebrew and is pronounced ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, you get to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund. Free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give. The upcoming holy convocation. Upcoming holy convocation is going to be the Feast of First Fruits. It's going to be the Feast of First Fruits. Starts after the Sabbath of unleavened bread on sundown. Was May 22nd, right? Give me 1 second, bear with me. Get the correct date. As well, regarding the Feast of First Fruits, You understand? They count 50 days. You understand? Actually, it's June 20th, I believe. Right? It's actually June 20th of 2021. You can find this in the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verse 10 through 22.
June 21st.
Right, June 21st, just to confirm. You understand as well? Tonight is Monday night. Commander Yohanna Black Watch. Make sure you tune in, like, share, and subscribe to the stream. Like, share, and subscribe to the stream. It'll be from 9 p.m. Eastern Time to 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the stream. Anything you want to add to that, sir?
No, we got a Chicago cookout coming up. During this time, during the summertime and throughout the fall, we have cookouts in different regions, and we're waiting for the date. But prepare yourself for the Chicago cookout. That's about it.
Remind Akim and Akwathian to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for I.S.U.P.K events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, you should start wearing all black, which includes black boots, black shirts, black pants, black headband, or scarf. And with that, I say Amadra, which means to stand. It's a salute. Men of Israel, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the teacher. Men of Israel, Amadim Shabbat, Amajim, Barak,
Yahweh Yahshua Barakatah.
Yahweh Shabbat Shabbat.
Class dismissed.